Please welcome Olivia Wilde. Nice to see you.
Very nice to see you. Thank you. Nice.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Happy to have you here. It's for a woman who's very political. Was being in a butter movie a choice?
It's a very political butter movie.
Yeah, it has one great moment where Rob Corddry has some political lines about butter, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, he's so fantastic in the movie. I mean, it does have a political edge. You know, the movie's about ambition and cutthroat jealousy and, you know, the extent at which a person will go in order to get what they want. And it's also about differences in culture and race. And, you know, it's all surrounding butter, but it's also all the things that define politics.
So, you're former vegan-ish, right? You're sort of...
I'm a big believer in the vegan lifestyle.
Right.
Yeah, I have been vegetarian for about 16 years, and I was vegan for 2.5 years strong, and I think it's the best lifestyle. I believe in it for many reasons, environmental, political, and humanitarian alike, but then I got divorced and I needed some cheese. Which, you know, I'm not proud of.
Listen,
but you gotta listen to your body.
Listen, when people get divorced, if cheese is the worst thing you went
right?
to, you're okay.
It's better than crack.
It's better than crack. In fact, in any era, that's true.
I think so.
So that's a universal truth.
Thank you.
When you look at, like, at a film festival, when you walk a red carpet or you see your film on the screen, do you ever flash back to the 13-year-old girl who, or even younger, who's hanging around under the table at her parents' dinner party, hearing Mick Jagger speak politics? Do you ever? Because that's your life too, right?
Yeah, I feel very proud and I feel very lucky. And it's because, in part, my family was so supportive and great. So I come from a world very far from Hollywood, but it's because of them that I had the confidence to keep trying.
But as far as that Hollywood is, you still have your hands firmly gripped on that world of social justice and politics.
Yeah.
That's always been with you, I assume?
Yeah, it's something we were raised with, I think, a sense of responsibility. The idea of leaving the world better than how we found it. That was instilled in us quite young, my siblings and I. Everyone else is better at it. I mean, my sister is a civil rights lawyer. She's amazing. My brother's 18, but he's just a really good person.
Yeah.
And I enjoy using the platform that I have in order to do good things. I mean, I am, as you are, a member of Artists for Peace and Justice, which is a wonderful organization, and we support a local org in Haiti, and we run the only free secondary school in Haiti, and I'm so proud to be a part of that. And you know, I love traveling down there every few months. I love being a part of something that is so effective. And you know, I believe in standing up for something that I have personal experience in, speaking from that first-person experience as opposed to just signing checks.
Right.
You know, I think what's really interesting that's happening right now is that my generation is sort of defined by a new type of philanthropy. Philanthropy is no longer a word just for rich older people with checkbooks. It is an active philosophy. It's the idea of really participating and going around the world and building wells or you know, saving trees, whatever it is, whatever your thing is, it's active. And I think we saw a lot of that in the last American presidential campaign. You know, Obama won because of young volunteers.
What's weirder, having Mick Jagger tell you go to bed, or Obama thanking you for helping him out?
I feel like more people have heard Mick Jagger tell them to go to bed.
I'm sure more people heard Mick Jagger tell him to stay up. That's what.
No, you know, I was like 4 when Mick Jagger told me to go to bed. Just, you know, clarification there. But no, I'm very honored to have worked on the campaign, and I really enjoyed that experience of really understanding democracy on that level. There's nothing more gratifying than going around and speaking to voters and encouraging people to own their power as constituents. I mean, it was really wonderful.
Young people are really idealistic as well, and they push for change, and then when they, on the rare chance that they win, they get their way, they expect change. The level of disappointment surrounding Obama's presidency, you can feel it and hear it. Do you share in that?
Well, I think all of us who have always been more, idealistic about a more liberal philosophy than Obama ever claimed to have. I mean, he's always been more centrist than a lot of his supporters wished he was, but I still believe him to be an incredibly intelligent person. And I am very impressed with what he's done so far. I think the healthcare overhaul was an incredibly important marker in our history. And I think that there are several other things that when you look through what he's done that he's accomplished. Of course, the economy is a blight. And I think that that's something that is an effect of what he inherited. And no one can expect it to be fixed in 4 years. It does need to get better. A lot of things need to get better. But I feel safer in his hands than any of the Republican candidates, that's for sure.
Now, Obama is by no means Tony Blair, but I remember talking to Noel Gallagher about this after Blair won, and he said, I will never, ever work on behalf of a politician again because I was promised something and it didn't happen.
Well, I think that's absolving yourself of a certain amount of responsibility. You have to continue operating on a local level if you are politically active. You have to be in touch with your representatives. You have to speak up constantly. You can't just elect a president and then wipe your hands. You have to constantly stand up for what you believe in. He can't do anything, or she can't do anything, unless you are standing up for it and demanding it. And that's something that I feel like people have forgotten. It's not just up to us to say, okay, do everything you promised you would do. We have to continue fighting for it.
What does empathy mean to you?
Well, I think it's just kind of human responsibility. I think empathy is what makes us human. I think that, you can't not experience it when you connect with someone in an honest way. I was just in Kenya filming a documentary for PBS with Nicholas Kristof, who's one of my heroes. He writes for the New York Times. He and his wife, Cheryl Wudun, wrote a book called Half the Sky, which is profiling several different women around the world who've gone from oppression to opportunity through microfinancing organizations, educational programs, healthcare things, and it's just incredible stories. So I was able to go to Kenya and profile these microfinancing organizations and discuss financial empowerment. Point is, I met incredible people who were living in the slums of Nairobi, who were dealing with unimaginable odds, just for all intents and purposes should have given up. And instead they were fighting, and sitting with them and speaking to them is when you really experience empathy at its most beautiful level. And you realize that even though this woman who has been raped, who has been abused, who has had to work as a prostitute and raise 4 children in the slums of Nairobi, is my sister, because we're human. And that level of awareness, I think, is the most wonderful part of humanity, and it's what kind of keeps me going.
Do you have mentors in Hollywood? I know you love Sigourney Weaver and Kate Hepburn, but do you have mentors?
Yes, I do. I do. And, I really value those relationships because anytime I've hit rough times, I do have wonderful people who I can call and say, how do you deal with this? And it's people I've worked with, who I've become close with, everyone from Jeff Bridges to Jennifer Garner. It's great because all these people have different experiences, but I think they've carried themselves with such grace. And it's a wonderful, example for someone like me.
You walk down a red carpet and you see Jennifer Garner walking down the red carpet, and you know that she carries a different burden than you do as an actor in this particular film. What do you see when you see somebody like that?
Gosh, I see bravery. I mean, she is a very strong woman. She's our producer on Butter as well, which I really admire. And she is just, incredibly powerful and is at the same time very maternal and nurturing. And I think she sort of defines what's greatest about women in Hollywood, because she is completely herself, but at the same time, really is grateful for and embraces her sort of place in Hollywood, and just deals with fame in a very elegant way. She cares about her family. She cares about her work. She doesn't care about all the BS, Right. But I'm just proud to have worked with her, and that goes for so many people I've worked with. And I'd like to work with more of the women. I've worked with a lot of the guys, everyone from Russell Crowe to Daniel Craig to Eric Bana. All these guys they're amazing. Yeah. But I'd like to work with some of the amazing women, and learn from them.
You got to make those movies. You got to produce those movies.
I'm working on it.
You ready to do that?
Yeah, I just wrote a script that has no men in it. I think that I'm gonna have to stick some in there. Just.
What's it about?
It's about kind of modern dating for women, and it's sort of, I think, what Bridesmaids did, which was so wonderful, is introduce female comedy in a very realistic way. People said, oh my God, it's so raunchy, but really it's just more realistic.
The moment when one girl defecates in the middle of the street.
Yes!
But also, even you in your movie last night had this moment where you look at, at the character and you say, I'm going to take a shit on the hood of your car.
Yes.
Which I thought was I wonder how she felt about
improv for you. That's when it gets dangerous.
You improv that?
In that movie, a lot of it is just us playing. Wow. And that's the kind of thing you think, this is never going to get in the movie. Let's just say it now for the blooper reel. And then there it is. Really big on screen for my mom. Sorry.
She looked over at you and said, I raised you better.
I raised you better than this.
Okay, anthropology. So, your character's got tattoos in the film. What's the worst tattoo you've ever seen or considered getting?
Oh my gosh. I think on one ill-advised evening many years ago, I think I was about to get a Fighting Irishman. So
Like Notre Dame.
on my arm, I think it was one of those really, really fuzzy moments.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm a proud Irish woman, but that's not a good tattoo.
Palin or Bachman?
Oh God, why? Neither.
If you were sick, would you go see Dr. House?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. He has a pretty good track record.
Yeah, it's pretty
But
fantastic.
then I'd have to be prepared for like 4 acts of near death.
That's right.
And then to be saved.
Leaving a show that you've worked on a lot, is it hard?
Yes, they're my family. It was incredibly emotional the day I left, but we're all friends, and I'm very lucky to have been on the show.
Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure.
Appreciate it. Olivia Wilde, everybody, got a brand new film called Butler.